This foundation claims to be weightless and long wearing, full coverage with a soft matte finish, waterproof and sweat proof. I'm going to be reviewing this for you. This is the new One Size Full Beat foundation. I have been putting this to the test. This was gifted to me in PR, but if you've been following me for a while, there's a couple things you need to know. Number one, I tested the first foundation that they came out with and I hated it. And I shared that in a video. And they recently gifted me a lot of products, which you're going to see in videos after this. I filmed them a while ago, but they'll be out after this. I didn't like everything. Just a little news flash. So what I'm saying is just because a company sends it to me doesn't mean I'm automatically going to love the product. I thought it was really nice that they reached out to me despite the fact that I didn't like several of their products already that I purchased myself. So in this video, what I'm going to do is you're going to see me apply this. I'm wearing it now. So I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see what it looks like now that my makeup is on. I'm going to wear it today. I'm going to do a check-in. And then I'm going to tell you what I think, which I already know what I think. So we're going to talk about that because I have been putting this to the test. If you're going to spend your money on a foundation, I really want to test it well before I give my impression on it. I don't like first impression videos on foundation. Those drive me nuts because, yeah, it could look great when you first put it on. What does it look like 6 hours from now? Especially if you're like me, oily skin, I live somewhere humid. Like, I want to see what that looks like hours from now. Little disclaimer here. You should not have to apply it a certain way, use a certain tool, use a certain primer. You shouldn't have to do all that for a foundation to work for you. Either works for you or it doesn't. But I will go through and do just different tests just to see for myself. But you should not have to do that. If you put a foundation on and it's crappy and it doesn't wear on you, you shouldn't have to go out and buy something to make it work for you, is what I'm saying. Let's talk about the details as you are watching me put it on. And by the way, I have no primer on today when I'm doing this test. I did test it with some, actually a one size primer. You don't, like, I'm not wearing, the only thing I have on under my makeup today is my Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury. These are all the shade ranges that they have there, right there, all the shade ranges. So they have the deepest, the deep dark, medium, light, and fair. And as I said, this says it has 16 clean ingredients, weightless, long wearing, blah, 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 all of that. So this is what the bottle looks like, what you saw in the video. It has a nice pump on it. Love that. You do have to shake this really, really well. I know that Patrick Starr had mentioned that in one of his videos on Instagram, that you have to shake it really well. So just make sure you do that before you apply it. It says it is full coverage. I don't agree with it. I have some full coverage foundations that are like full coverage. You put it on, you use very little, and you don't even see the blemish anymore. The one that comes to mind, I feel like the most full coverage one I have, I don't have it in front of me, is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter one. That one I have to use a dot of it because it is so full coverage. So I don't think this is full coverage. To me, it's more of a medium buildable, but I could still see a little bit of my veinings. I have some blemishes. I still kind of see it a little bit there. So I tried to cover it up, but it didn't cover it that great. So just know that you do have to build it up more. And the problem with that is you don't want to build something up too much, because if you do, then that's when you can have some settling, some creasing. It could just not lay well on your skin. It's really better to go in with maybe a concealer, color corrector, something like that. You don't want to just keep on putting it on, but I just want to make a note of that, as I don't personally find it to be full coverage for me, just because when I put it on today, I can still see stuff, okay? And then he also came out with this sponge. Now, this is large because I washed it today. I didn't want to show you it all dirty. I did try applying it with this. I don't like it. There's nothing wrong with the sponge. I just don't like sponges like this. This is more of like a, can you hear it? See that sound? It's more of like that bouncy ball sponge kind of a thing. I don't like sponges like this. I've shared that in the past. I've tested other sponges that are kind of like that. I call it like a bouncy ball. I don't like it. I just feel like it doesn't, for me personally, it doesn't blend really well for me. I feel like I can still kind of see where the sponge hits my face. I feel like I'm slapping my face. I just don't personally care for these sponges. I do like the shape of it. I like how you can hold it like this. You can really get a big area with it. If you were somebody that you like to, you want to use a sponge, this is a nice big one. I mean, look at the area you can get with it. He said you can use powder on it. I did do that yesterday, but the issue with that is that it was still wet, and then my makeup was kind of weird in certain areas because of it. So that probably wasn't the best idea to do it. You probably have to do it dry. And you can use this dry, by the way. You can use this wet or you can use it dry. But personal preference, I just don't really care for this type of sponge for me. So I did try applying the foundation like that the first time. I did not like it. I tried it twice, actually. I tried 2 times to do it with the sponge. And it just didn't work out for me. What worked out best for me is using brushes. I just used these. You saw it in the video, so they're not going to be clean. But I went in first with my Refer number 31 brush today. And then I went over it with my Refer B04 brush. I just like to do that. Like I will go in, blend it out, and then I'll take a brush that's like a clean brush, and I just go in and finish blending it out. Yesterday, I decided to use a primer with it. So I went in and used this. And this is the Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Primer. This is kind of a weird product. I did review this, and you're going to see it in a review. But it's kind of a weird product. You have to shake it up really, really well. You only want to apply it in the areas where you need it, and you have to apply a very little amount. And so just like for me yesterday, what I did is I applied a little bit on my forehead. I put a little bit here, and I put a little bit here. And I felt like when I put this on, like one side looked kind of dryish. This didn't look very good later in the day. Like I don't know. The only thing I will say is that it kind of blurs a little bit. It seems to be more of a blurring primer, but it kind of controlled my oil, but not really. I'm going to tell you this. There is none, zero, zilch foundation on this planet, nor will there ever be, that is going to make my makeup look matte. It won't. Not when you have oily skin. It just doesn't happen. But I still test them out, because if it says it's matte, I feel like I won't look as oily with it, because I like to have a shine on my face. I like that. I feel like it looks youthful and glowy and pretty. What I don't like is I don't want to look like a greasy, icky mess like I did with the RMS. You're going to hear me compare that to it, because it's probably one of the worst products I think I've tried in a long time. I was just like really crazy with that. What I find with this, and you'll see at the end of the day when you see me do my check-in, what I find with this is that it looks really glowy, but it doesn't look greasy. It looks slightly blurred too. In areas by my cheeks, it will look kind of slightly blurred. Surprisingly, I really like it. I really like this foundation. But what works for me is not using a lot, but I've shared that with you guys. I don't use a lot. So I would again, if I have stuff, then I'm going to have to go in and use like a concealer or something like that, just to try to cover it a little bit better, because this just isn't enough for me. So I used about a half a pump on one side of my face, blended it out, then did the other. And you saw how I applied it first. Is I like to use my fingers, because I like to really work it in areas of my face that I have larger pores. It just works better for me to do it. I've been doing that. That's how I've been applying my makeup lately. So I do that, then I go over it with the brush, and then I use the other brush just to kind of buff it out and blend it out. Today I did use the one size powder too. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I just, I wanted to use it with it, because yesterday I didn't seem to wear a little bit better on my face too. And he has different primers. There is another one that I think there's a couple more that I'm going to try for you guys. But like I said, you'll see those in videos, because they've been very, very kind to me and gifted me products. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have not liked everything they've sent me. I have not liked everything they've gifted to me, but I have to be honest with you guys and share that. But this I really, really like. I don't think this would be good if you have dry skin, though. Um, I I don't think this is for dry skin. And I personally feel like a lot of his products are geared towards oily skin, in my opinion, because I believe the last foundation that he had was for oily skin too. I just don't think this would be. I feel like this would be good for oily skin, normal skin, maybe combo skin, but definitely for oily skin. And I live in Florida. I've been testing it out, like sitting outside, which I'm going to do today. I'm going to sit outside so you can see how oily it's going to get. But I will say this, if I am going to wear this for hours outside, I'm going to be outside for hours walking around, I'm definitely going to have to use some kind of a primer to absorb the oil. I'm not crazy about this one. It's okay. It did work yesterday, but I feel like I have other ones that work a little bit better than that. But I do really like this. I'm surprised at how much I like it. I really do, because I think my skin looks really, really pretty. I still get a little bit of a glow, so I'm not completely matte, but I feel like it controls it enough. But don't use too much of this. I feel like yesterday when I tested it, because I was trying to cover things, I feel like the areas that I did that, especially when I applied too much powder to it too, those are the areas that didn't wear really, really well for me. So let me zoom you in now so you can see what it looks like now. And then I'm going to insert what I look like later today, which, by the way, I always say this, it's the same day, but my hair's not going to look like this. It's already starting to fall. I used a bigger curling iron today. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it doesn't, I like my hair's a little bit curlier, but anyways, I'm not going to be wearing the shirt. It is going to be the same day. Okay. So all of my makeup is on right now. And you can see what it looks like. I think it's best for oily skin. It doesn't settle on me or crease. If you wear it for long hours in the heat and humidity, I definitely would recommend using some sort of a primer that's going to help absorb it a little bit better. Don't build it up too much. If you have any breakouts or anything, you're going to want to use something else. Don't use too much foundation because I feel like it doesn't lay as well. And I think I got everything. So I do like this foundation. I think it wears really, really well. I recommend it if you have oily skin. I think you will really like it. Do I think it's the best foundation I've ever tried? No. But you guys know I don't build stuff up. It has to be like amazing for me to come on here and be like, oh my gosh. I don't like to do that. I see a lot of people that everything is amazing. But I know you're going to go out there and spend your money on it. And I really want to make sure that I don't want to overhype it. So then you're like really disappointed in it. So there's been very, 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 very few products over the years that I've just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing kind of a thing. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I have a lot of new subscribers here, so you might not know that about me. But I'm not that person. I try to be really careful when I'm doing it. A lot of people do that for clickbait. I just don't want to do that because I want to have a good relationship with you guys, and I want you to trust me with my reviews. I don't want to come on here being one thing, then you know what I mean? So anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that this video was helpful and informative. If you are considering buying this, you're going to see a lot of reviews on this. I really hope that mine stands out to you, and I really hope that it was really, really informative for you so you can make the decision either to purchase it or maybe it's not for me kind of a thing. I really hope that helped with that. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you're new here, I would love to have you join. Please consider smashing that subscribe button below. It is free. I share new videos every single week, Mondays and Wednesdays. And before you leave, if you've enjoyed this video, and I truly hope that you did, please make sure that you like, share, comment my video because it helps to push them out to the algorithm. And I would greatly appreciate your help. It helps to build my channel. It helps to bring more people to see my videos. I can help more people, and I would really appreciate it. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.